Okay, good evening everybody, welcome to today's video. Before we begin proceedings, I just want to give a little bit of an explanation behind what's happening. So I'd said in my previous video that I was due to go to a couple of car meets over the next couple of weekends, the first being MFN, the second one being the BQR meet at Cheltenham on the 15th of August. The BQR meet as things stand is still going to go ahead. Unfortunately, the MFN meeting, which was due to happen last weekend, unfortunately got cancelled. The reason being was the weather was just so bad during the course of that Sunday that the grounds where people were due to be parking their cars had just become an absolute bog, and it just really wasn't feasible. And certainly looking at the video that got posted on the Facebook page where all the details had been put, it was pretty obvious that things were just going to be, weren't just going to be practical at all. So I think probably the right decision was taken in that instance. However, unfortunately, that didn't put people off wanting to sort of post their frustrations and what have you. But do you know what? Again, I respect the organisers' decision at the end of the day. I think it was, they had little option, they had little choice. But on the plus side, it did mean that what we started to then see was people putting posts up of trying to organise some sort of subsequent unofficial meets to try and sort of make something of the evening and try and give the opportunity for those that were taking the trip to sort of make it worthwhile. So we started seeing comments coming up and posts coming up of meets happening in Chesterfield, one in Derby and then one in Notts. And I was due to go down to MFN with a friend of mine, and I said to him, like, do you fancy just going out anyway and just seeing if we can get to one of these places? So he's like, yeah, let's just do it. So we got in the Jag and we went to the Tesco's in Bulwell, where we were told that we were going to be given a location subsequently on Snapchat, something I didn't have but my mate did on his phone. From there we went to Shipperley Country Park. Got there initially, couldn't find anything, so I pulled over, and as we were sort of farting about trying to figure out what we should do, suddenly saw a couple of cars including a Sierra Cosworth just come drive past us. So I sort of gesticulated and said to the guys, whereabouts is this? And he's like, yeah, just keep going down this road. So we set off down the hill, and it looked at that point like, yes, here we go, loads of cars everywhere. So the beginning of this video is going to pick up where that group of cars was, and I'll sort of take you through the steps of how things went. So enjoy the video. Thank you. So obviously, as the police turned up at that point, it were a case of that. Okay, obviously things need to start getting a bit of a move on now. Maybe people are going to start to move on and stuff. So at that point, having seen obviously there was some interest from people wanting to do various antics and whatever, I said to my mate, I think what we need to do, personally, my choice is where the road runs down to the country park, about half a mile long, you've got side streets either side. I just said to him, I think what we do, let's get to the top of that road, park up there. Might be a bit of a wait before we start seeing people leaving, but I think it might be a bit of entertaining stuff that starts happening then as people start leaving, getting onto the main road. So that's where we ended up, and then we parked up, grabbed some crisps and what have you from the garage, sat there and waited, and then this all happened. So I said to my mate, I called it. It was a great spot and I called it. Then, of all the times, I dropped my camera and broke it. Absolutely fuming. I thought to myself, I cannot believe what's just happened. Disaster. So, fortunately, I had another camera phone in my pocket that I'd taken with me, which I've taken to all the events where I've gone, just in case I've needed a spare, in case I've run out of space. So I then began to take some footage using this. I will apologise at this moment because some of the quality of that footage is not great. Yeah, as you'll see. So if you want to put some comments, please, about how you like the fact that the film was being videoed using nothing more than a potato, then please do so.
galling.
And sure enough, the police turned up again. So, very frustrating. But on the plus side, certainly did get some very interesting exits onto the main road from a load of the cars that were there, which was always good. So it was at that point I said to my mate, right, we need to now get in the car again, and we'll try and find where everybody's going, because everyone was going up, that section of the road. They were going in that way, so we thought we hopefully we'll try and catch where everyone's gone. So we said, let's get in the car. So we headed off. Started looking, managed to see in the distance there was a car from the event, followed it, and then got hit with the traffic lights, red lights, car's gone. We're then meandering around, can't find anybody. We're going up and down, round roundabouts, junctions, looking for possibly, well, where could this group have gone? Couldn't find it. So, it was getting late by this point, and I just said to my mate, do you know what, I think we probably need to just consider dropping this now and maybe going home. So I pulled over, put the postcode in the sat-nav. Literally 5 seconds after pulling off out of the junction to head home, I suddenly spotted a burgundy Corsa, and I said, I recognise that car from when we were at Shipperley. So I stopped, spun round, thought, let's see this Corsa going up a side street, just back from where I'd pulled over. Went down that side street, and here they were, all parked up on the sides of the roads. We're thinking could be some good stuff happening here. So parked up. This is what happened next.
I was not expecting that.
Used to go around in the 4x4 Might as well, mate. We'll go.
And sure enough, yet again, it wasn't long in waiting. The police arrived again. So, back in the car. Let's go. Let's try and see if we can follow this group. So we came out the junction. I then had this thought, right, there's a few cars that are still back. So we pulled into a little housing estate, got out, and I thought I'd capture some filming of some of the cars coming out of the street where we'd just been. So that's what happened next. once. Again, most of those cars had gone back in the Jag, and we headed off. And 10 minutes or so of sort of meandering around looking for where people were heading again, we lost the group once more. But what we had seen was that there were a couple of the guys that were in the petrol station just before the moment where we had lost them, which was around about IKEA in Nottingham. Went back to the petrol station, seen the group, pulled, waited, some were going. It was at that point we then set off. Again, we followed the trailer cars, got onto the M1, and we must have driven probably a good half an hour, I would say, from there, maybe slightly less. Again, wondering where this is going. We drove past the turnoff to where I would have normally gone to have headed home, seen signposts for Leeds and Doncaster, and thought, well, maybe that's where everyone's going. So we just decided, well, let's just carry on. Followed the group. We could see just in the distance there was a Mazda MX-5 been slammed to the floor, one of the cars I think from Shipley. Followed for pretty much all this time, and then I suddenly see just in the distance it darted off a slit road, and at the point where it darted off, I saw up on the a signpost at the top saying Chesterfield. Right, okay, so off we went into Chesterfield, looking round. Again, traffic lights and everything else, we lost sight of the group, so we thought at that point we're just going to go home. It was getting late, it was getting on for about 9 o'clock I think by this point. We thought we might as well just head back. So again, postcode in the sat nav, we thought we'll just head back. Sets off, and then a few minutes heading home, suddenly see 4 cars bomb past us. Thought, where are they going? So we roared off, stood, follow these 4 cars, see where they're going. Bit further down the road, they turn off, and I can see on the roundabout where we then exited, this massive hill going down a dual carriageway section, and cars were parking on the grass verges on either side, going down and coming back. And my mate thought they could be possibly doing some racing or something down here, so we thought, okay, well, we'll head up. So we pulled over at the top of the hill onto the grass bankings. There were loads of cars down there, and we sat there, and this was what then happened next. So once again, the police arrived, and at this point it was getting on for about 22, quarter to 10. Unfortunately, I'd booked a few hours extra off of work, but I did need to go in for around about midnight, 1 o'clock, and I just said to my mate, I think we're going to call it a night now. You know, unfortunately, because we were having to film with that rubbish camera, picture quality, as you've probably seen, was not brilliant, not really capturing a lot of quality footage, and I just decided we'll pack it in for the night, and we headed home. So yeah, bit of a random night. Certainly on the initial parts where we were thinking that it was going to be a bit of a disappointing day with MFN getting cancelled. Actually turned out to be quite an exciting evening. It was good to get out in the Jag, give it a good run around as well. Having not been out in it properly for quite some time and taking the Capri out to all the meets, it was nice to give the Jag an opportunity to show its face, and there were certainly some appreciating comments of it when we pulled up at Shipley, which was really nice to see, so that was all good. Anyway, enough of me waffling on too much more now, so I just want to quickly wrap things up. So again, apologies of course for the crappy video quality of this particular one, but hopefully things will resume and we'll be back to normal with the 2 meets coming up, and thereafter, fingers crossed, I won't drop my camera. And then just to say, as ever, a big thanks to the guys that turn up in their vehicles, and to have things just be a bit random, but it was very entertaining. So big thanks to everybody that turned up and those that organised everything. So really big thanks to everybody. If you did like this video, then guys, then please give us some comments. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it, of course. And if you do want to subscribe to my channel, then just hit the subscribe button at the end of this video, or a bit further down the page you'll see it. But that's it from me then, everybody. So BQR meet is going to be coming up next. That's going to be on Sunday morning. I'll be getting up very early, taking Reggie with me in the Capri. Capri is very clean at the moment. Giving it a wash and polish and a nice hoover out. So hopefully we'll get some good footage of the meet. But yeah, okay, I'm going to get myself to bed very shortly once I've had a cider. So I'm going to have that first and then head up. But other than that, everybody, that's it from me. So until next time, take care of yourselves, and I shall see you very soon. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.